What's up, everybody? It's your girl Nita, your favorite diva, and I'm back. Power Book 3, Raising Canaan. This is Season 3, the season opener, which is named Home Sweet Home. This is Season 3, Episode 1. If you're here and you're new coming to my channel, welcome and welcome back to my Diva Squad. You know what we do here. Make sure you leave a comment, let the diva know you stopped by. If you like the vibe, make sure you subscribe and leave us a comment down in the comment section below. And yes, so this is going to be your spoiler warning. We are going to get into some spoilers because I'm going to be recapping the entire episode. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into it. All right, the episode opens up with Marvin. You know, he had a severe gun wound to the side. Demo said he's lucky because it went straight through. And Marvin, he don't see it the same way, but it is going to prove to be true. At least it's not stuck in there. He don't have to find somebody to sit up there and try to get that thing out. Okay, so all right. So Rock and Luke are on the phone. Rock is saying plant all this stuff on Crown Camacho. So they got their stories aligned. We see the FBI showing up. They look like FBI or even detectives. I'm gonna say detectives at this point. Detectives coming to the hospital to get her side of the story. You see, she's doing good. She has her arm in a sling. They want to question her. She tells the question over and over and over again. What do you want from me? You know what I'm saying? And during this time, meanwhile, Marvin is over at the stash house getting all of the product, the rest of the product or cash or whatever was in there, getting it out because it's like code red. It's a code alert. We out here doing the work. He all battered, bloody. You know what I'm saying? He's still like with his injuries and everything like that. And we'll get to it when I give out the power awards at the end. But I do want to say that put a pin in it for your boy Marvin. So then, meanwhile, back at the hospital, we see Juke and Kanan, and they're waiting in the waiting room for Rock. They see on the TV that there is a bad cop incident, which has caused the release of 10 inmates. They call them innocent, but I don't think that they're innocent. But they call them innocent men being released from jail because he tampered with evidence and tried to get them in jail. So meanwhile, while they're listening to that story, put a pin in that. Kanan spots his father. So Detective Daddy comes in and he kind of makes this little gesture or whatever. So he wanted to see Kanan. Now we get introduced to Ronnie. So Ronnie is Unique's older brother. Now you know Ronnie left Unique as the kingpin in Southside Jamaica, Queens. However, we saw in season 1 how there was a power dynamic shift that happened, and Rock was able to negotiate her way to, a business organization. And then next thing you know, because of the events of season 2, we have Unique just ousted and he's in Jersey. So he's not taking a liking to that. He's in there eating his cereal and he didn't get up to greet his brother. He barely spoke to him. He was like, no warm welcome for your little brother. He was like this, I don't want my cereal to get soggy. I was like, okay, all right. So like, okay, all right, I guess. So he gets down there and he actually notices that there's some blood on Unique's um jacket. Noticing that, he questions him about it. He's like, you cut yourself on something? He was like, oh yeah, on my car door, something, something, something. He was like, you stay bullshitting. Now, also too, I want to point out to you, even in this scene, Pernissa, his girlfriend, his baby mom, did not seem comfortable with Ronnie there. So there's that. We're gonna put a pin in that as well. Let's see. Howard and the detectives and Rock. They were in here and he was still grilling them. I think this was a different one, getting the story again, because you know that's how they do. They want to keep on questioning and questioning and questioning you. Um, Howard had to jump in and be kind of like, it's all to the good, Crown. He's known to be entrepreneurial. They asked about the drug activity. He was like this. I wouldn't be surprised if he was doing that because he's been all over these streets and all of that. And I was just like, okay, I mean, I guess so. I don't know, but I guess so. Um, let's see. Okay, then we see the feds um asking Lou about his side of the story about what happened at the studio. Because you remember his girlfriend Ziza, she got killed. A whole lot of other Italians got unalived as well. His story lined up as well too. Then we see back at the hospital. I'm gonna have to group these scenes together. I hate going back and forth like that, so please forgive me. I'm going in the order of the story, I believe, but they keep going back and forth. So Malcolm's at the hospital. Burke shows up and she starts to blame Malcolm for everything. And he was like, "What are you talking about? Like, I don't know why you got this wild head up your ass for me. What is your deal?" And he was like, "It has everything to do with you, Chief. Don't you know?" Da 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 da. The chief was like, "Man, stop this mess. Stop it. Stop it. Come on, let me holler at you outside." So they go holler, he go holler at her. He talking about he don't want head. He shuts her all the way down. She barely gets anything out, but we know she's always talking about Howard, right? So he said he stops her in her tracks. He said, "You're suspended. Give me your gun, your badge, your ID." She was like, "This no, you're making a grave mistake. This is what he wants. This is what's going on. Like, I just need to let you know what's going on so you can try to figure out what is going on. I bet you he's at the center of it." He was like, "This no, gun and badge. Fine." He puts a little dig out about her and her mom being drunk and the father having to bring her to the precinct, and you know he thought that she was going to follow in his footsteps, but it's kind of like a disappointment to see you mess up your career like this. And she just was like, my mom did the best she could. The only reason why she was drinking like that because she was married to my father. And she leaves after she gives the gun and badge. Next, we see Sal getting sunned by Stefano. Okay, Stefano. He got into his ass. He tore into his ass because Sal went in there in the projects and tore shit up, and now the feds is on everybody. He's like, they got a magnifying glass up my ass, and I don't appreciate that. So he pretty much put him in his place, but at the same time, I was like, this baby, that don't look too good. So we're gonna put another pin in that, and we're gonna keep on moving. Keep on moving. All right. So we see Rock, Rock, Marvin, Kanan, and Juke come to home sweet home. Her home in the suburbs. Okay. She says, "Oh God, look at me having to unpack all these boxes with one arm." Marvin was like, "That's what you got Kanan for." And he said, "Kanan gonna unpack this stuff." Kanan said, "Man, I don't even live here." He said, "You don't live here? Where you live at then?" He was just like, "I don't live here." And he was like, "What the fuck you talking about? He don't live here." And then next thing you know, he saw start doing his breathing exercises. From his anger management. So good on you. But it's a little too late as far as Kanan is concerned, Marvin. I think y'all really should have been yanking him up in season 1 and season 2. However, comma, we are here now and we can't do nothing about the past. The past is done, and it looks like Kanan is like in the wind. So y'all, it's gonna be a mess. It's gonna be a mess. So Rock says she wants to talk. So they go to the family table and the dining room table and they have a talk. And they're all just sitting there. First thing first, Rock wanted to apologize about her mom, Kenya, what happened to her. So a somber moment. I was just like, oh man, this is so bad. This is so bad. But you know. But what she did do, same thing like Diamond did with Jannard, like put some good memories on what is their last memory of their parent. She did the same thing for Kenya. She said Kenya was really sorry for what she did. She said that she just wanted to talk to a woman to woman, mother to mother, and she really, really loved you. So I think that gave you some sense of closure a bit. And then, of course, Marvin had to chime in with his stuff. And yeah, it was a touching moment, y'all. They were really, really tender. You could see Juke was really, really hurt by that. Um, yeah, yeah, I thought they did a really good job with consoling her and trying to help her cope with the loss of her mom. They were very, very empathetic and very, very hands-on and good with that. Okay, so then Juke, not Juke, Rock makes the announcement that she's out the game. She said this is a price that she's not willing to pay, and she's out. So then Kanan bucks up, get froggy talking about, do you think we good? Do you think we good? She was just like, no, I know we have some things to work on, Kanan, but this is a start, let that be that. And we can move forward. And he was just like this, no, I don't believe nothing you say. I just don't believe nothing you say. Also, too, he did drop a nugget about him, her telling him to go to the park to put somebody down, put my father down. And he was like, my father? Marvin sitting up there looking confused as hell, like, father, I thought what's going on here? So he was confused. He was stuck like Chuck. And so Kanan gets up and leave. Rock makes Juke, well, motions to Juke to go, see if she can smooth it over with him. She goes out there and tries to smooth it over with him. He ain't hearing it. He also throws in the mix that your mom gone. And look, who was the last one standing? She might have been behind that. So, all these projections and hurt feelings and all this other stuff. And he's saying, like, as long as she talking, she lying. She's like, please give your mom another chance. It's just like a no. It's a hard no for him. He's just like, deuces, okay. Next, across town, we see Shannon and her father talking. Her father, of course, you can see his wall. He looks like a decorated officer of the law. Either he was the police chief, he was somewhere a detective, IAD, whatever. He was somewhere up there, and so he's telling him that the police department is communicating with him, not even communicating with her. They are communicating with him, and he's telling her, he's scolding her, talking about this. The investigation is not about Howard, it's about you. You about to fuck all this up. Like, I need you to get your ish together. And she was like, stop yelling at me, Dad. She was just like, y'all not listening to me. There's something going on. He was like, I know how they operate. I know how this is ran. You have to listen to me. And she's not listening to him, of course. And she's getting upset or whatever. Next thing you know, I believe she leaves. We see Ronnie and Unique riding around the city. I don't know what they were going to do. Forgive me, this is a week late. So anyway, they were riding around town. They basically was talking about business. And he was saying about how, we see the police, the block is high. He said, whenever we dealt with the police, we just had to stay a step ahead. And he was just like, business change, things change. You can't not be, so stuck in your ways that you cannot change. And so yeah, and I remember vaguely in the Power Universe that they said something about, when people do things the same, that's how the new cats come in and, change the game and switch up things because they're hungry. They need another way in and they are creating their own lane. They're talking. Ronnie ain't trying to hear it. He's just like, what the fuck ever you need, whatever. So that's that on that. All right. So we get over here to Fame and Kanan, and they're talking. He's asking, they're smoking, he's high. He want to know where the turkey at. And he's like, man, you blazed up and been smashed that turkey. What you talking about, dude? And he was just like, I can't go home to my mom's or whatever. He was like, I'm never going home. He was like, man, if my mother asked me to come home, I would be in that joint like a hop, skip, and a jump, I'm back there. I don't want this shit is not sweet, it's not cool, like whatever. He was like, I'll be there. And then Kanan was laughing or whatever, and he was like, "This, I got an eviction, notice or whatever." He was just like, so Kanan looking at the eviction notice, and he hitting the blunt too. So I think I had a question about that. I said, "Does Kanan ever hit that blunt?" Because I don't know, for some reason I feel like um Fame is a little like a fiendish. He's like he always have to smoke. I don't know people who always have to smoke like that. So I was like, is he lacing his stuff? And I'm like, but if Kanan is smoking it and they're not having the same effect, then maybe that's a reach. That might just be a reach or whatever. So anyway, so I see Kana, he's hitting it too. And then so he tells him we got to go find some work. So he was like, what about the dude that you get your supply from? He was like, is his name Simwell, something like that? And he was like this, nah. He was like, we got to do something. He said, because the rent is due. Okay. So he was like this, I'm not really about that life no more. I'm not really trying to get into it. I'm not good at that shit. But like Hannah said, the rent is due. So then we see Crybaby Lulu with his bottle. Of course, it's some whiskey in the bottle, but I got a baby bottle because he always on F Rock and all this other stuff, and he's crying and grief and all that stuff. I would never make fun of anybody in the grieving stages. This is fiction, y'all. Okay, so I'm just trying to be funny. Lulu was crying, talking about F Rock. Marvin was like, "That whiskey must be talking." He said, "No, it's all me. It's all me. I ain't got nothing to do with this whiskey. This all me. F Rock." So he all on that. So let's keep on going. Okay, so we get to Semiwell. I don't know if that's his name. That sounds like the dude name off Soul Food. Semiwell. I don't know if that's his name. Him and his son is spending quality time together. Next thing you know, Fame and Kanan come in and ask if they can get some work. And he's like, "Nah, I ain't really messing with Southside like that." He was like, "I don't want to do that." He was like, "And plus, if I give you the product, who's to say he ain't gonna smoke it all? He ain't nothing but a fiend." I was just like, "Oh my God." So everything looking bad. Famous, his reputation is like mud in the streets. Mud. So that wasn't a good look. So yeah, so the answer was no. And so let's keep moving. All right, so then we see Marvin at the apartment with a box that says for Laverne. It looks like it is um Kenya's stuff from church, and they brought it over, and it was some contents, and she walks in the door, and she's like, "What is this?" And he was like, "This, yeah, some people from the church brought it on over, and it says it's for you, so go ahead and you can have it or whatever." And he was just like, they said they was gonna have a memorial service for her, and so he would go with her if she wanted to go. He said, "I know you ain't effing with them church folks no more. So, but if you needed me to be there for more support, I'll be there for you." And she loved it. She, went into his arms. He was holding her. She was crying. He was crying. It was just a great moment. And of course, we are going to get back to that once we go ahead and put in the Power Awards at the end of the episode. What do y'all think? Who is the MVP of um the episode? Make sure you put it down in the comments below. We are going to get there, so just hang in there. Child, there was this part where Fame ended up was like it was a knock at the door, and he was like, "You expecting somebody?" And he was like, "No." So he went to the door, and he was just like, "It's your mom and the police."
Somebody here? Nigga, it's your mom and the police.
Police. I thought it was so funny. Um, anyway, so they walk in, they want some privacy with Kanan. So, they're checking out the apartment. She's looking around. She's like, this ain't bad. It's pretty decent or whatever. So they looking around. Howard don't look impressed. But Rock was like, for it to be our first place, it's all right. So he asked him for some privacy. He's like, "This is my apartment. What you mean?" He was just Rock said she pulled out some money. She was like, "Fame, go get some money." I think she gave him like 100 or maybe $200 to go get some pizza. Howard said, "Take your time, young blood." Kanan was like, "No, don't do it or whatever. You don't have to do it." They was like this. He was like this. Well, I was trying to smash that turkey and the turkey gone. So can I go get this pizza? He was like, "Man, whatever, man." So they go in there and they talk to them. He's talking about, so what y'all getting back together? I can't do the slur of the words or whatever. Are y'all getting back together? And he was just like, what he say? He said something to the effect and about her sending him to put him down at the park. And he said the fact that you just put that out there in the universe like that, he said that's exactly why we're here. So he's checking him, and he's just like, you cannot, I repeat, cannot be saying no shit like that ever, ever. I don't care if it's me and your mom's, I don't care who it is, don't you ever say that again. He said, man, the feds is on this. He said, not just the police, the feds are involved. The FBI, the alphabet boys, they are involved. So he was like, you can't be doing this shit. So he went on ahead, he checked him. He's sitting up there looking like a little, yeah, that when that male energy come, that's when the motherfucker started to pipe down a little bit. So, he checked him and he all slouched in his chair like that. I said, I said, that's what the hell you get, Kanan. So it looks like as long as Howard is here, he's time enough for that ass. But his mom, that's a lost cause. She might as well hang that shit up flat screen. All right. So then in the worst day of her life, Bert, she done lost her job already. She ain't nobody listening to her. Her father done gotten her ass. The next thing you know, her girlfriend done broke up with her child. She was just like this. Listen, I'm out. I can't be doing this with you. I cannot be doing it. So I'm out. Get your shit together. My mom only got 1 year to live, and I can't have no disgrace, no shame come to my family. I gotta look out for me. You do this shit on your own. They keep telling you to leave it alone and shut your ass up, but you can't do that. So listen, deuces. I was like, damn, bad day for Bert. Anyway, next we're on to Pernissa and Unique. She is once again in the same episode warning her about how uncomfortable she feels with Ronnie being in the house. Now, not for nothing, I believe this is some kind of foreshadowing that is happening because she keeps on saying that she's uncomfortable. She want to get out of here. Either he got to go or we got to go. And he's sitting up here talking about, I got a plan. Don't worry about it. It's going to be all good. Everything's cool. He's gonna be out of here. I just gotta go get us some work. He gives her a kiss and leaves out the house. And she's like, where you going? And he did not answer her. He just left. Now, across town, Lou has called his little nephew over to commiserate with him because he knows that Kanan is on the F Rock train as well. So, Lou's still sitting up here talking about F Rock forever. And then he's trying to paint Rock in a bad light. So he's confessing his sins and what Rock made him do and all this other stuff. He was talking about D Wiz, and he was like, but I don't think you know that she made me do it. And kudos to Kanan in this moment, how he took he made Lulu take accountability for his actions. And he said, you could have said no. Plain and simple. You could have said no. And ever since that, I think Lou started to take accountability because a child, your nephew, no, mind you, holds you accountable for what you did. You could have said no. And he said, I could have said no too. And that's what we're about to see. We're about to see the rebellious Kanan like rebuffing his mom. He's not gonna have anything else to do with. There is a line drawn in the sand with Rock. Okay, so there's that. We see Howard at the payphone talking about we need to talk. I'm gonna tell you everything. It's long overdue. Let's go ahead and talk. We like when I was first watching, I'm like, who be talking to? Because I know he ain't about to talk to Burke about nothing. But lo and behold, that's exactly what this conversation was. Put a pin in it. We'll discuss it. All right. So then we see Unique go on over to Rock's house. She answers the door with the hammer behind her back, of course. And she's saying that she's getting ready to cook some dinner with one arm. And see how it turns out. They go in there, they have a little conversation, a little back and forth, whatever. She tells him that she's out the game. He was just like, it's hot around here. He looking out the window. He was just like this, yeah. He was like, I understand that or whatever, but you sure? And she was like, yeah. She was like, it's all good. And so he's putting the moves on her real slick, like, and Rock gives in. She gives in. He's all, I mean, when I say he pressing. So I was just like, okay. But y'all do remember in the season finale of season two, he saved her life when in fact he could have just let that be that and he could have got back into New York. But the greater good made him save her in that moment. And plus, I think he was a little sweet on Rock anyway. So he goes and he pressing up on her, but because she's in a vulnerable state, in a vulnerable position, her son is gone, her brother has kind of turned his back on her. Like she don't really have nobody but Juke and Lulu. I mean Juke and Marvin. God damn these names. Juke and Marvin. So with that being said, and she might just be giving him a little thank you for saving my life or whatever. So she's lonely, she's vulnerable, but I still think she got her wits about her. So I'm not gonna say that she letting Unique digmatize her because she still know what game they in. You know what I'm saying? Like she could play that game with Symphony. She can't play that game with Unique. She gotta keep him with a long handle spoon, and we're gonna see her do that. But she allows him to get the loving that he's trying to get. And so she gets it in turn as well. And it was a nice little steamy scene. I need to see a couple more and some good ones. Okay. But I was satisfied with that because I knew that they had the chemistry and I knew it was going to happen. We see Laverne over here. I mean, Jukebox Laverne. She's over here looking through her mom's things or whatever. These are things, we knew her as a Bible thumper. However, there are more layers to a woman than whatever she presents, not just your mom, not just your wife, not just a Bible thumper. We have a more layered Kenya in this box, and so all these little belongings just kind of like encapsulates parts of her life, things that she holds dear, different time periods. And then there were some records in there. I think it was about 4 or 5, and it was like women like Roberta Flack, Aretha Franklin, like stuff like that. And because she was a singer as well, that's where Juke get it from. And so it was just a really touching moment. And I'm not gonna spend too much time on that. She looked like she had a nice time grieving, not a nice time, but a just a good experience, like kind of connecting with her mom, even though her mom isn't there. This is actually during a time where the memorial was taking place. And Marvin is actually at the memorial. So I thought he was going, he was there just in case Juke wanted to show up. I don't think he wanted to make her go. So he was just going to be there just in case she wanted to show up. And they were talking. He was reading the program and everything, and he realized that Juke wasn't coming. And I don't blame her. I would not step foot in nobody's church, never, ever again. Okay. So he leaves and after paying his respects or whatever. So honey, we get to the scene of all scenes. Howard goes to go talk to Burke. We see Burke there before he gets there. She's in a dark street with little to no lighting, little to no traffic. I was like, this red flag, abort mission, abort mission. So she got her gun cocked and loaded, the safety off or whatever. She got on by side her thigh. I said, bitch, I don't care how many guns you got. Are you gonna be faster than him? That's what I need to know. Unless that's what you about to do, just all willy-nilly. I don't know how she thought that was gonna go down. But child, anyway, that's neither here nor there. So she's in there waiting for him. He gets there, and honey, she gets to running off at the mouth. Running off at the mouth.
Don't say that.
And I'm just like, I thought he said he was going to talk to you. It seems like you're doing all the talking. And I was like, abort mission, abort mission. Girl, no. She is rambling and rambling, and she started from the beginning, listing all his crimes. And he was like, yeah, maybe some of them things was true. I'm not saying that they were, but perhaps what if they are true? She was like, well, this where it gets murky for me. Like, I really had to wonder about what the things that you did to cover up your tracks. And he said, I know you killed Sam. You had to. I know you had to because he was the witness. And next thing you know, she said, so I'm wondering what else you gonna do. Boom. I said, oh,
Say you are right about some of this shit. Not saying you are, but for the hell of it. Let's just say a few things in the ballpark. It still don't add up to shit, Bert.
Maybe not.
Hush! You talk too much. Oh, girl, you never shut up. Goddamn!
But what about all the shit you did to cover it up, Uncle? You had Sam killed. I know it was you. It had to be. And if you did that, who knows what else you could have done? Who knows?
well, you ain't got to wonder no more because, baby, he let you know. Okay. Game over. Brains everywhere. I said, Lord have mercy, Bert. I said, well, at least it was fast. At least it was fast. At least it was the least amount of pain that could be. I don't know what kind of pain, but it looked immediate. Your eyes were still open. So, honey, I just don't know what to say. I just don't know what to say. Then he goes over to create the scene. So he looks over and checks, because cops they have pen and pad, like where they going. They kind of like, record all the stuff. So he finds her gun. She's like, damn, she was about to murk me. I said, no, that was just for protection. I don't know what kind of protection she was gonna have in that scenario. That would have been an abort mission for me. I don't know what the hell she was thinking.
Oh! Shout out to everybody. I had fun.
Honey, I guess she ain't had the street smarts that God was supposed to give her. Then he found a tape recorder. Now, I'm just gonna drop a gem on you. I'm gonna drop a gem on you. Make sure if ever you are in a scenario where you're trying to record something that could be used after your demise or something, you always plant two devices. Plant one because after the person finds the one, they're going to stop looking. And so, with the investigation that occurs, they'll find another one. So, just something to think about. The other one will be there. He found a recorder and he wiped off the car. He put the gun in her hand. He wiped his prints off. He took her gun and he exited stage left. And baby, that's where the episode ended. And baby, that was a mess. Hey y'all, I had some technical difficulties, so the Power Awards will not be included in this particular episode. Sorry. That was a whole, whole mess. But it was a good episode nonetheless, y'all. Please let me know what you think about episode 1, the season premiere. It was a banger. I give it a A. I give it a 9. I give it a 9. 8.59. A B plus A. Solid A. It was a solid episode. I'm glad it's back. And yeah, y'all, I'm just like, I'm here for it. Y'all do know that Raising Kanan is my favorite book in the Power universe or whatever. It's something nostalgic about the 90s for me. It feels very true to life where the era that I grew up, like, I don't know this drug world now, but back when I knew the drug world, I knew it to be what Raising Kanan is. And I appreciate the production value. I appreciate the writers, Sasha Penn, all of I just appreciate it and I love it. So y'all let me know what you thought about it. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and you make sure you come back and you check out episode 2, which is coming up very, very soon. So bye y'all.